Let's do this. Excuse me.
The rogue trader has seen fit to observe his enforcers at work and grace the investigation with his presence on the officer's deck.
The hell am I doing? Who do I want to take? You know what, I'll just take the usual crew. I do like her. And she's actually pretty good. But Pascal has a lot of utility.
Sourback barks at the officers gathered before you. His lordship the rogue trader has seen fit to honor us with his presence in order to monitor the course of the investigation. You are expected to perform your duties immaculately and report your every step to me. Should any of your actions bring shame to the enforcers, you will answer to me personally. Continue. Lord Captain, the 3 officers before you have been tasked with conducting the investigation. The first, Captain Klein, is a veteran with a record of quelled uprisings of mutant abominations in the colonies. Captain Ginevry is young, but she has already preempted several mutinies among the ship's rabble. Lastly, there is Captain Hrotko. His interrogation skills deserve credit, and he knows how to instill fear and respect firmly in the minds of the riffraff. After carefully assessing the officers' bearing and their uniforms, Abelard nods with satisfaction. Their drilling is good, their service records are excellent. Let's see how they perform in the field. The mutants are plotting. Klein spits in disgust. They've been breeding like void rats, so they're getting cocky. must have wanted to infect your lordship with their plague. It wasn't an attempt on the Lord Captain's life, it was a threat. The rabble are planning a revolt, so they're trying to terrorize us. Soon, you will drown in blood. Insurgents pride themselves on such metaphors. Meanwhile, Captain Hrotko is convinced that it was the work of Voigtbur's surviving cultists. However, I believe this to be a warning rather than a threat. What we need to establish is, we have discovered a worker's corpse, mutilated and desiccated. We are still looking into the man's identity and position, but the chirurgeon's report has confirmed that, among all the blood that was pumped into your bath chamber, the blood-carrying mutations was indeed his.
Even taking into account the neighboring decks, so only the
workers from the nearby decks have all been checked for genetic aberration, but the mutations identified are all within the norm for laboring masses. They are being rounded up for interrogation as we speak.
even talking into an account neighboring decks only, that consists hundreds of people. How do you plan to question them all?
Our interrogation techniques are broad and varied. However, nothing loosens the tongue like corporal punishment, beatings, mutilations, torture, public executions. Sourback almost purrs as she lists ways of making people suffer. When combined with psychological pressure, such methods work wonders.
An unfortunate necessity. Let us return to the matter.
Indeed, Lord Captain, most unfortunate, says the Master-at-Arms, a bloodthirsty smirk stealing across her face.
What do you propose we investigate first?
The body. Once we have ascertained the dead man's identity, we'll be able to locate his associates and narrow down the number of suspects. Captain Klein is in charge of examining the corpse. Yes, Your Lordship, I'm almost done with my report. As soon as it's ready, I'll deliver it to you.
Let us begin.
While we wait for Klein to report back, please enjoy the refreshments that have been prepared for you, Lord Captain. A pair of enforcers with battered faces is escorting Infernus Master Heinrich Montag. His lip is busted, his knuckles are grazed and covered with blood, and there is a chewed-up Lho stick between his teeth. One of the enforcers drones nasally. We apprehended him while he was trying to break through to the detained rabble. Got into a scuffle. We barely managed to restrain the troublemaker. He demanded an audience with you, Mistress Sourback. Heinrich adjusts his clothes and approaches confidently. What do your enforcers think they're doing, Jocasta? Why are you assaulting my people, denying them water like they're criminals? You've got teenagers and elderly folk here, they're all just ordinary workers, they've done nothing wrong. No, Heinrich, what do you think you are doing? Attacking my people, chastising me in front of the Lord Captain? Get out before I have you charged. The enforcers are reveling in their impunity, treating the crew like cattle, especially my clan. Many in their custody are dying of thirst or injuries. My sister and niece are there too. I don't expect them to be exempted from the investigation, but I'm begging. That is what the procedure demands. Intimidation loosens tongues. Torment erodes the seditionaries' will. The rabble are to know only awe and terror. Nothing important or, indeed, worthy of your attention. You detect a slight hesitation before the reply. There is something you are not being told, outlandish ones. One of the Inferni was found to be missing his pass to the room housing the worklog cogitator. Losing such a pass is a serious offense, but the scoundrel claims an enforcer took it from him. He could not specify the name and rank of the enforcer, but he did. I would not dare disobey your lordship's order, even one I disagree with. Thank you. We won't forget your mercy. Heinrich gestures at a disheveled young woman and a short-haired girl in her teens. Both are dressed in utility coveralls and smeared with soot. Lord Captain, let me introduce my sister Nimi and my niece Mia. Ladies, you should thank the Lord Captain for helping you. Hello, Your Majesty. Thank you for the food and water, and for not letting them chop our hands off. That would have left us a little short-handed. Nimi laughs awkwardly. Mia snorts and elbows Nimi in the ribs. It's your lordship. And don't make jokes when you're so terrible at them. Do you want the Lord Captain to change his mind and send you back? Argenta smiles warmly. A feisty one, isn't she? She has the spirit of a true sister of battle. But when I look at her family, I am glad she has someone to take care of her and that the Emperor did not call her to serve him with weapons and fire as we do. Draciel, are your serfs literate? I could lend them a highly informative pamphlet on etiquette. Kasia glances at Nimi and Mia's grubby hands and wrinkles her nose. Then again, they would probably just burn it for warmth. Are you serious? Nimi lets out a sigh of relief. Yeah, you got me good there. My status as senior officer exempted me from being arrested, but that same privilege did not extend to them. They were taken, along with the rest of the clan. They were acting horribly. They were hitting people in the head and the ribs. They didn't care if someone fought back or not. Nemesite would never allow that. Mia elbows her again. Shush. If they hear his name, they'll get angry again. Nimi lowers her eyes in fear. No one. Just a hero from a tale my grandfather used to tell when I was little. That's enough, Nimi. Heinrich scowls disapprovingly. You are not a child anymore, so stop bothering people with those silly rhymes. Forgive my sister, Lord Captain. That was inappropriate. Abelard sighs wearily. Nemesite, your lordship, is a folk vigilante from Voidsman legends. Every few years, some hothead declares himself Nemesite. They always meet a sticky end, as do those foolish enough to believe in Nemesite's ravings. The Senes Chow levels a meaningful look at Nimi, who shrinks away. Thank you, Lord Captain. They're all I live for, and, thanks to you, the people most important to me are now safe. Captain Klein snaps to attention. Identifying the victim has proven impossible. His face has been smashed in and his body is badly maimed. There are too many wounds to determine the exact cause of death, but presumably he died after the killer slit his throat. That's how they drained his blood. No external signs of mutation were found. In other words, we have nothing. Klein, this isn't a report, it's a declaration of our incompetence before the Lord Captain. You will keep digging around inside that corpse until you have produced some results.
Damn it! I'm gonna have to redo this.
Lord Captain, these methods may be brutal, but their effectiveness has been proven over centuries of practice. No criminal will confess if Sourback's glove creaks as she grips her maul. Her gaze remains cold and calm. As you command, Lord Captain. The mutants are plotting. Klein spits in disgust. They've been breeding like void rats, so they're getting cocky. Must have wanted to infect your lordship with their plague. You have seen that look before in the eyes of other veterans. It's the expression of someone reliving painful memories that have left behind deep scars. They cannot hope to overcome such trauma on their own. They would need help, or a partner, or, to coercion. 100% turn away from Klein. It would seem that I had an exaggerated opinion of this veteran's courage. He should get some rest. Let Hrotko take over his, indeed. Klein, why don't you go take a break? Maybe it's time you considered asking for a transfer to a less demanding post? Your best years are behind you. You should make way for the younger generation. Klein's face turns a deep red. Shut your damn mouth, Hrotko. The things I've seen, the filth I've crushed, you want me to gut another one? You want to see its mutant blood on my hands? I'll show you blood. Well played, Lord Captain. It has been some time since I last saw this kind of fire in the old man's eyes. Klein is up to his elbows in blood, his eyes flaring defiantly. I've examined the filth inside and out. Its innards are a genetic nightmare. It's a bag of corruption wrapped in human skin. Extra organs, scales, atrophied ingrown limbs. But that's not what's important. The body was disfigured posthumously. They killed the mutant with surgical precision, before opening his throat and draining his blood. It wasn't until after the actual murder that they crushed his head and tried to cover up his wounds. The wounds were so brutal I almost missed his work tattoo. The victim was a pipe warden. And I found this in his throat. Klein presents a blood-stained raven feather. A certain legend springs to your mind, one involving Saint Quirine, who was granted a portent of enemies hiding among the faithful. When Quirine prayed to the emperor for a sign that might reveal the traitors, a raven's feather burst out of her mouth to inscribe the names of the conspirators. Only someone versed in the symbology of the Imperium could have left such a message. Klein accepts the glass and downs it instantly. Evidently, he is in no state to savor the bouquet and taste of the fine drink you have offered him. Vile mutants do not make allusions to saints. This was someone versed in the creed. Someone wanted to hide the cause of death. What I fail to understand is why they would then leave the body out in the open instead of disposing of it. I concur. Would you like to give us specific instructions, Lord Captain? Sourback nods firmly. If the perpetrator was in a hurry to cover their tracks, they may not have had The Pipe Wardens are a worker clan that services the ship's sewer systems. The tattoo indicates the worker's status and personal number. This one was SP-246-01. Senior Pipe Warden. As Klein bows his head guiltily, Sourback mutters, her gaze boring into him, "Rest assured, Lord Captain, disciplinary measures will be applied to Captain Klein as soon as we are done with the investigation. We should run the victim's identification number through the master work log cogitator. If its machine spirit favors us, we will be able to narrow down the number of suspects. Ginevre, this is your arena." Ginevre approaches you, followed by a dignified woman in crimson robes. "Allow me to introduce the esteemed tech priest and Drove. She believes she has the right to obstruct the investigation, and refuse to grant the enforcers access to the master cogitator." The tech priest lets out an indignant Binaric trill. "I request that the laywoman's willful activities be halted. She intends to torment the machine spirit of the master worklog cogitator Iota Thurb. The venerable spirit is ill and in no disposition to endure such abuse. The spirit is old and quick to anger. It therefore calls for a sensitive approach, not a torturous intrusion by a brutish laywoman. Since the start of this watch, the spirit has been unwell, so we have been trying to soothe its woes by applying sacred unguents and sensing the great machine's boards. The dogma of data recuperative quarantine prohibits any disturbances to blessed machines found to be in such a state. What exactly does this data recuperative dogma prescribe? Let no profane hand touch the sacred machine stricken. Let the mechanism be shielded from all worldly troubles by a veil of righteous litany, and let its shrine be thrisely honored till the malady is no more. Judging by Ginevre's expression, she would rather have her profane hands touch Androptify's neck. Androptify shoots Ginevre a sidelong glance. Very well. I shall disturb the spirit, but I demand that the laywoman show respect and do as she is told. Raising her hands high, Androptify wails, Omni Sia preserve us. The Great Spirit was infected by a layperson. That is the culprit you should be searching for, not some pipe warden. Sacrilege. Registering a Category 3 act of sacrilege resulting in a Category Epsilon Quadro transgressive scenario. Requesting the inclusion of the offender in the registry of wanted entities for the purpose of expiative disposal. We have discovered that the cogitator's malfunctions began after an unauthorized attempt to access it was made. Someone deliberately angered the machine spirit in order to bury the work logs. Thankfully, the esteemed tech priest was able to appease the spirit and extract the information we needed. The victim's name was Ordo. On the day he died, he was servicing valve 27B, which supplies water to the rogue trader's bath chamber. He also had a partner, who has yet to appear for duty since the incident occurred. We have a suspect. Senior Pipe Warden Gvidon, number SP268-55. An 8th generation pipe warden, no registered infractions, excellent discipline, perfect work record. An exemplary servant of the Imperium. Impossible. Since the start of the watch, this area has been used as the center of operations. No rabble could have slipped by unnoticed. Moreover, a common pipe warden wouldn't know how to commune with a machine spirit. The murderer had help. Before Sauerback can respond, Hrotko cuts in, Your Lordship, there was a man named Vidon among the rabble waiting to be interrogated. He immediately struck me as suspicious. Please allow me to question the man in your presence. Sauerback narrows her eyes, but all she says is, bring him in. Now. Before you stands a gaunt man in work clothes. His face is swollen from the bruises, and several of his fingers are broken and sticking out at odd angles. He stares vacantly into the Start talking, you miserable wretch. You tried to kill the Lord Captain, didn't you? Hrotko grabs the worker by the lapels. Vidon's coat flies open, revealing crude occult symbols painted all over his body. What's this? Heretical brands? Cultist scum. Vidon yells, baring what remains of his teeth, yes. It was me. I tried to put a curse on the Lord Captain. I killed my partner in a wicked ritual, rubbed elbows with them demons, consorted with them. All to carry out a dark plot and doom the Lord Captain for the glory of my almighty master. He bursts into a fit of hysterical, theatrical cackling. His words, he is trying to paint them over with fake garish hues, but his abject terror carries with it too much black and gray. What does he hope to accomplish with this? He has admitted to everything, the vermin. I have insisted time and again that the assassination attempt was carried out by one of Voigtbur's surviving henchmen. My apologies, your lordship. This one was interrogated before your order was given. I will take responsibility for not anticipating it. Hrotko looks proud and self-important. Ginevre is biting her nail, as if hesitant to say anything. Sauerback is observing the worker in silence, apparently sunk deep in thought. Meanwhile, Klein merely stands still with a distrustful grimace on his face. Other than Hrotko, no one here seems to believe that you are looking at the real culprit. Sourback glances at Ginevri with curiosity. Ginevri, do you concur with the Lord Captain? Have you anything to say about this, expert display? There is one thing that's bothering me. Ginevri points at the symbols on the worker's body. Vidon, what are those marks all over you? These are my cultist marks. So I can put curses on people and talk to demons. He pokes a finger at an uneven semicircle with 9 arrows coming out of it. This one's called the Hame of Terror. It represents the 9 archdemons. I always pray to each one first thing in the morning. There is no such symbol. It's supposed to be a circle with 8 arrows, and there is no way it's called the Hame of Terror. This is some kind of travesty. Your lordship, the man is talking nonsense. Argenta sighs, shaking her head sorrowfully. God Emperor, forgive this wayward soul his feeble-mindedness. Klein smirks. The dead mutant looked more like a demon worshipper to me, the way his guts were all twisted. As for this one here, there's no touch of the warp on his body, that's for sure. The worst he'll be able to show us is an ingrown nail. I often have to deal with insidious rabble. The idleness and avarice of the scum on the lower decks breeds heresy, especially during warp travel, and people start carving signs on themselves and praying to all sorts of things. The circle with 8 arrows is more common than any other symbol, but I've never seen this variation before.
Does the Master at Arms not find it strange that the suspect is so eager to paint himself as a heretic? And it's such a preposterous fashion, no less.
I agree, Lord Captain. Sourback growls at the worker, I want the truth. Who are you? And who told you to give us this pathetic confession? The man blanches and starts bawling. He gives up on his sinister theatrics and babbles in the voice of a common worker, forgive me, your lordship. I'm not Vidon, and I'm not a heretic. Yards me name. I'm a laundryman. Please, have mercy, they took my family. That enforcer said she'd throw them out the airlock if I don't confess. She made me draw these unholy marks on meself. Abelard casts a significant glance in Sourback's direction. Your enforcers have a knack for persuasion, Mistress Sourback. But this is ridiculous. What enforcer? Name. Give me her name. Ginevri. Her name was Ginevri. What? I swear that I have not. Ginevri. The steely edge in Sourback's voice causes everyone present to freeze, but you also hear a note of bewilderment. We will deal with her later. I will handle the search for Gvidon myself. Lord Captain, would you have us execute this demon worshipper? It will be done. There is no cause for alarm, Lord Captain. This conspirator may have been a fake, but now it is only a matter of time before we find the real culprit. We have the pipe warden's names and identification numbers, and we know which clan they are from. We will keep pressing the riffraff until either the culprit confesses or someone turns him in. I will handle this. The Master-at-Arms pointedly grips the maul on her belt. Please enjoy your meal in the interim, Lord Captain. The scoundrel will appear before us soon enough. Absolutely, Lord Captain. Your insightful suggestion helped the enforcers to locate the evidence. In fact, we found a bloody synth coat in one of the vents, a standard issue included in every enforcer outfit on the ship. Undoubtedly. Let us go over the facts we have on this sabotage and compile them. The body of the deceased was mutilated after death. It is likely that the nature of the injuries would have proven very useful in the investigation, and that the perpetrator concealed them for that very reason. Someone sabotaged the work log cogitator so it would be harder for us to find the victim's partner, who might have information valuable to the investigation. Instead of the murdered man's partner, we were given a fool one who thoroughly incriminated himself first, before admitting that Captain Ginevre had put him up to it. Sourback glowers at Ginevre, and she pales with fear. It was Ginevre. Klein reluctantly nods at his fellow enforcer. I relieved her when I came to inspect the corpse, which Ginevre nervously adjusts her armor under Sourback's piercing gaze. The corpse was already looking like that when it came under my purview. But I could not get the name of the officer who discovered it. The deck was, the rustle of synthetic fabric fills the room. All the enforcers show their coats, except Hrotko. He shrugs complacently under the gaze of his comrades. I do not wear it. An enforcer must be able to withstand the cold, and the serfs treat synth coats as a sign of weakness. Behind the armor of affected indifference, his thoughts ooze grimy hues. Like blood mixed with umber. It looks vile. The tech priests did not let anyone near the cogitator. They even tried to prevent the enforcer's investigation. Ginevre, were you there the entire time? Yes, ma'am, since the start of the watch. I went there right after I handed the body over to Klein. The only time I stepped away was to retrieve the data slate from my quarters. I left a watchman, but he went missing. Most likely, very convenient. A missing sentry, a data slate misplaced against regulations. Hrotko drums his fingers on a holster on his belt, where his own data slate sits tightly nestled. I may have conducted his preliminary interrogation, like so many others. Hrotko requested my assistance because of my experience in dealing with the rabble. But I swear that there is no truth to these accusations against me. I have never threatened his family, and I certainly did not force him to lie and draw heretical signs. I barely even remember his face. I may have interrogated him beforehand, but it was someone. The transcript says you conducted Yart's interrogation alone. Why is that? Because I can handle a single laundryman. Ginevre raises her chin proudly. Sourback draws her auto pistol and points it at Hrotko, who appears entirely unperturbed. I will give you one chance to retain your last shred of honor and confess. You sabotaged the investigation. Why, is it not obvious? Hrotko smugly arches an eyebrow. To expose the conspiracy myself and to prove your incompetence to his lordship. To take the place I actually deserve. For years, I toiled for the good of the dynasty, but when the former master-at-arms was killed, I was refused my promotion. Instead, they give the position to you, a self-serving Sourbacknet. I guess a noble name means more than talent. When this crime occurred, I realized it was my chance to show what I was worth. While you were busy dallying, I quickly learned the name of the suspect, diverted the course of the investigation an easy enough task and began looking for the real Gvidon. Had I found him in time, your position would have already been mine, Jocasta. Simply listen to yourself, and you will understand why they made me master-at-arms. Lord Captain, I request permission to dispose of this refuse personally.
Do I kill him or? Uh, I'll give you a chance for the co. You are demoted and become an initiate at the shrine where you will need to spend the rest of your days in penance and servitude. For your crimes of sabotage, slander, and heresy, I hereby condemn you to death. Master, now carry out the sentence.
A backup plan. You always need someone to blame if you make a mistake. Hrotko's voice sounds calm, even casual. I could have framed Klein, but that young upstart was already galloping through the ranks too fast and was clearly aiming for my station. Besides, she and her thick-wit subordinates were always right where I wanted them to be. With all due respect to your lordship, I am an enforcer. I have looked death in the eye, and I will accept your judgment with dignity. There is no bravado in Hrotko's words, just a dry statement of fact.
Hrotko, were you really hoping you could deceive the Master-at-Arms and me?
Your dismissive tone makes Hrotko flinch with indignation. I had every chance, but you were shrewder than I expected. My little trick with the body did work. You still don't know who was behind it all, but I have already figured it out. I hid Vidon from you by damaging the cogitator and delivering you a fake, an idiot willing to incriminate himself out of fear. I even prepared a contingency plan in case he cracks by making sure he would blame someone else. Yes, there were a couple of slip UPS, but, you must admit, it was a solid attempt overall.
You're a liar and a blackguard, but I commend you for your intelligence. I have no need for such an enforcer, but I could use another spy. Also confusion? Is there anything bad I could always use more dogmatic points. Probably the easiest is just kill him. Screw it.
Hrotko's lips stretch into a thin smile. Thank you for your high praise. I am grateful to have had this opportunity to prove my usefulness to you, albeit under unusual circumstances. Hrotko remains unfailingly polite and completely ignores the seething sour back. That takes care of the traitor. Now, let us proceed with interrogating the pipe warden. The pipe warden does his best to remain reverentially bowed, which paints a rather comical picture given his formidable height and complexion. He lowers his head, tugging at his beard. Senior Pipe Warden Vidon, honored to serve, Lord Captain. I'm ready to confess to everything.
You're the real Pipe Warden, Gadon, are you not?
I am, and I'm proud of it, Lord Captain. A pipe warden's craft is hard work, but necessary. My number is SP268-55. My work partner was the late Ordo, number SP246-01. I oversee the water supply systems on the upper decks, sectors A3, K8, and R2. That includes valve 27B. There can be no mistake, I have verified his identity myself. It has also been confirmed by the other workers.
Why did you fill my bath with blood?
I did as the servant of death commanded. She said the Emperor gave the first spinner a sign, that your lordship should be bathed in the blood of poor Ordo, my partner. And well, he gulps. I was scared. So, I obeyed. The first spinner? Are you talking about the vizier of the blood-spun web? Why yes, that's him. He leads the death cultists, the lot who worship the Emperor by killing. His spinners hunt down heretics, but sometimes they take righteous lives too. Their service is mysterious, fervent, and bloody. If the vizier ordered it, there must have been a reason. The Undying One must have revealed something to him that we are ignorant of.
Did you kill your partner? Mutant partner?
I didn't kill him, and I didn't know he was a mutant. Ordo and I always got along, even if he wasn't much for talking. But then, he shudders. A servant of death came from the darkness, ended him quickly but harshly. She bled him dry and put a black feather in his throat. She told me to pump blood into the pipes, and then she left. I wanted to confess, but I was afraid she'd come for me too if I did.
Summon the Vizier of the Bloodspun Web. I wish to hear his explanation. As you wish, Lord Captain.
Your lordship, if I may ask, what happens to me now? I never meant to anger you. I thought I was doing as the Emperor willed it, but here we are. I'm a simple man. I know pipes, and I know them a lot better than all this people business. My eyes aren't what they used to be, but I can still smell
You
rust in
acted
metal,
as a true servant
though
of
not
the
so much in
of the
people's
Emperor.
thoughts.
Would I have...
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, your lordship. I'll serve you faithfully, and I'll never forget your mercy. The Vizier of the Bloodspun Web treads lightly and silently as if his old, gaunt body has no weight at all. He whispers weakly, Daman Draciel willed to see me, and so I have come.
Not respectfully, I have summoned you to discuss an action of your apprentice. Indeed, there's deeds be weighed. The Vizier responds in an equally respectful manner.
Investigation has established that the Bloodspun Web orchestrated an attack on his lordship by means of pouring unholy blood into his bath. This affront. The old man's murmur drowns out Sourback's relentless voice. Daman Draciel knows the truth. So it was done, for so I did will. It was no affront, but a prophecy. For my hands to divine, unsullied martyrs offered their souls and bodies into his imperishable embrace. I gazed into the red rivers of their smoldering lives, and I did see a roiling unclean staining the vase, reaching for the anointed Lord of the Ark. In my apprentice's last sighs, I heard the Undying One's whisper. He bid me, bathe the Daman in the blood of he who must go and they who have been righteous, for this will shield the Daman and strengthen his body against the roiling unclean. I obeyed.
The man you killed, who was he?
I know not. I heard only the name, and I knew, he must go. He listens to the empty space above his shoulder and nods. Yes. We need no more knowledge than that.
Do you claim that you did it because the God Emperor willed it?
I speak, move, and draw breath because he wills so. I defy not the Undying One, neither in death that gives and takes nor in my living existence.
Would the vision have been false?
The Vizier's lips curl into a smile. I held the cards of his tarot, washed in the blood of the righteous. They make no mistakes, and neither does he send false visions. Only mortals are they who read the signs. They who interpret.
What do you mean by rolling unclean?
He did not reveal. But it is corruption itself. It offends him. It tastes as sweet as fetid waters in old pipes. Its promises are the deception of an enforcer's smile. Its faces, elusive.
Master at Arms, are you convinced that we found the culprits?
The situation is clear, your lordship. Sourback makes the sign of the Aquila. The Emperor has sent us a portent. The protector of mankind guides the hands of his holy servants to guard us and warn us of hidden threats. God Emperor, I thank thee for protecting us, even though there are instruments of your protection whose purity and holiness I may never understand.
Would it be a coincidence that the victim of the ritual wasn't a genetic aberration?
The officers around you keep a respectful silence, but you can tell by their faint smiles that they find the very idea of doubting the Emperor's providence absurd.
The cult of the Bloodspun Web will face no persecution for their deed.
The Vizier freezes, listening to silence, then nods to nothing. Yes, yes, I will tell him. He turns his sewn-shut eyes to you once more. We are seeds in your hands, giver of life. Whether you keep us or scatter us, we will remain grateful. Be that as it may, We have hit a dead end. We hope that exposing the culprits would lead us to the aberration's lair.
Tarbeck, the investigation must continue.
But no spinner or brave warrior from the Damon's circle can find the roots of the unclean, for it can appear as human and act as human. Only its thoughts betray its vile nature. Only its thoughts are never human. Wise. Anxious silence falls the moment Sourback says this one word. She narrows her eyes. Is it unclean thoughts we need to find? Very well. Let Wise find them. He knows how, no matter how badly he wishes that the rest of us forgot about it. Veiny Zachary is a fearsome hunter. When he hunts, the flagship wails. When he thinks, my teeth creak, and I can feel pain as if I am young again. But his power is great indeed, he can hunt down our prey. The esteemed Zachary Wise can perform the ritual of thought reading. This practice lets him do a cursory examination of the minds of thousands of people in search of certain individuals. A ritual as rare as it is dangerous, and only someone as versed as Master Wise can accomplish such a feat. Once, Lady Theodora made use of his services to expose spies on board, who apparently had been in the employ of Lord Inquisitor Calcazar.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems that not everyone here is eager to help to leave this matter to Master Wise.
I would say the one least eager will be Master Wise himself. Last time, his efforts caused some severe warp manifestations. The ritual truly is perilous. Not to put too fine a point on it, Wise nearly destroyed the ship back then. Incidentally, he had given us multiple warnings that it could happen. Lady Theodora ignored him, and we reaped the results. Oh, why do I get the feeling that I know what will happen next?
That is all, Master at Arms. Your duty is done. I'll give you leave to wrap up the investigation on the officer's deck.
My duty will be done when the threat is eliminated. I will brief the enforcers while you consult Choir Master Wise, Lord Captain. Available characteristics.
The Emperor sets my path.
Let's not waste time with pleasantries. I always have a backup plan.
Choirmaster Wise turns toward you long before you reach him. A chill runs down your spine, as if someone were watching you from inside your own being. The strange sensation passes as suddenly as it arises. The choirmaster shakes his head. I know why you are here, your lordship. And with all due respect, I am asking you to reconsider.
Let us not dawdle.
You summon your will and drive out the unpleasant sensation. The choirmaster smiles sadly. You shroud your mind well, your lordship, and yet I can guess why you have come. With all due respect, I am asking you to reconsider. It is my wish to be useful to your lordship, but what you have come for, will put the ship in peril. A ritual of this kind can and certainly will go the worst way possible. Your predecessor came to me with the same orders once. Nothing good came of it. Please believe me, Lord Captain, when I say a mountain of corpses was the least of the problems we faced that time. Many years ago. It was a time when Lady Theodora had become anxious. Perhaps the Lord Inquisitor's interest in her affairs adversely affected her, shall we say, trust in her own subjects. She was expecting a betrayal, and eventually her paranoia brought her to me. I performed the ritual, but the choir ceased to exist. I remember that day, Lord Captain. When we arrived at the chapel, there was blood and human remains everywhere. But that was the least of the terrifying things we saw there. It takes the entire choir's power to invade such a prodigious number of minds at once. I weave their voices into a chord and steer it into the murky sea of other people's souls. Together, we read tens of thousands of thoughts, emotions, and intents, looking for the thing we are after. The seed of corruption you are interested in. Lord Captain, do you know the proverb about staring too long into the abyss? What you are asking for is tantamount to plunging the entire choir into that abyss. A ritual like that will require incredible focus from each of its participants. It will take a single careless thought, a single glance in the wrong direction, for the way back to be lost. Human minds fusing into one another, vitrified organs inside still living bodies, perverse fantasies manifesting in the flesh, nothing will stop the horrors of the warp from spreading all over the ship in the blink of an eye. Lord Captain, do you know the proverb about staring too long into the abyss? What you are asking for is tantamount to plunging the entire choir into that abyss. A ritual like that will require incredible focus from each of its participants. It will take a single careless thought, a single glance in the wrong direction, for the way back to be lost. Human minds fusing into one another, vitrified organs inside still living bodies, perverse fantasies manifesting in the flesh, nothing will stop the horrors of the warp from spreading all over the ship in the blink of an eye. And even if I agreed, it would be impossible. I would need a second powerful telepath as a defender to shield my mind. The last time, my best apprentice, Adeline, did that, but she is no longer with us. She was exceptionally talented, rivaling, even myself. Now I know of only one Psyker in the entire expanse who is her equal, but he is bound to the service of one of House Winterscale's planetary governors, and thus unavailable to us. Which makes your dangerous enterprise an impossibility. Worse than you can imagine, your lordship. It only took a fraction of a second lingering inside another mind for one of the astropaths to lose control of their own. The affliction spread down the chain like fire. No one was spared. The minds of my charges could not withstand the tension. Their consciousnesses were caught in a vortex of alien thoughts. The fortunate ones died at once. As for the rest, Argenta makes the sign of the Aquila. Protect the souls of the stricken and take them under your wing, that your faithful servants may find peace. I managed to send out a call for help and did my best to contain the phantoms on my own before Lady Theodora arrived. I was the only survivor out of the entire choir. Her ladyship allowed me to spend a month in a secluded cell upon whose floor and walls I drew the most powerful protective hexagrams I knew. I was crushed. I was broken. And, worst of all, I was afraid. Afraid of meeting the same fate as Adeline and my other apprentices. An astropath must never be afraid, your lordship. One who yields to fear dies and dooms those around them. Lady Theodora bombarded the Adeptus Administratum for months with requests to provide her with a new astropathic choir. In the end, new voices did fill the chapel. They were never told what happened to the previous choir, but they have inklings. And I pray to the God Emperor that they never find out the details of that tragedy. It is not heresy, but it is indeed a dangerous tool that will only yield to a mighty hand. That time, things were going all too well. The choir was many-voiced like never before. Adeline and my other talented apprentices sounded louder than the rest of astropaths in all of the expanse. We were strong and confident enough to take a bold gamble, and we lost. The choir master cowers, as if cornered. I did find it. But the price. Yes, Lady Theodora got the names she wanted, but was it worth it? The tragedy has remained a secret hidden within the chapel, but we were a hair's breadth away from it becoming an epitaph inscribed on the ship's remains. Please, Lord Captain, learn from her mistakes instead of committing your own. That is the harsh truth, your lordship. It must not be done. And who is it? The choir master's smile, though courteous, seems ever so slightly sarcastic. Wise's smile has a hint of condescension. With all due respect to your unquestionable talents, Lord Captain, I need a Psyker capable of working with a specific branch of psychic knowledge, that being telepathy. Master Harriman is a seasoned telepath, but his lord would never part with such an incredibly, as you please. Master Harriman will welcome the news of his forthcoming release. His present lord is quite unpleasant. I will report back once Master Harriman has been brought on board. The instrument terminal, an important part of the compartment's internal infrastructure, appears to be in working order. The cogitators regularly display reports on the screen's
Rise
endless
to the
chains
top,
of symbols,
or get
many
left
of
in
which
the
only
dust.
high-ranking tech priests can likely understand. And who now deigns to grace us with their presence? Another gaggle of heretics and traitors thirsting to get their due for what they've done? Or is it the leader himself, who has finally grown tired of hiding behind others? Theodora von Valancius is before you, and she looks grotesque. A hole yawns wide in her chest, rusted hooks protrude from beneath her skin, and a lumpen, inflamed scar cuts across her throat. The figure flickers, as though it is dropping in and out of this reality. She looks at you with the whitish eyes of a corpse and smiles venomously. Rogue traitor. We meet at last. I had grown tired of waiting for you to pay me a visit. Theodora's look is appraising, and her mocking tone turns to one of distaste. Indeed, centuries of selfless toil and effort, and everything I left behind has gone to this nonentity. Argenta's eyes sparked with fury. Warp illusion. Begone. Argenta, my dear, there's no need to make such a fuss. Why don't we sit down over a cup of recap like we used to? I'll listen to your rapturous tales of sacred relics, portents, and your special path. You must have been so lonely without me here. No one else is willing to listen to your ravings, or help you with your childish treasure hunt. Theodora laughs melodiously, almost without mockery. At the sight of the terrifying Theodora, Abelard's face turns sickly pale. Throne, spare us from the cursed apparitions of the archenemy. Is that what you are truly praying for? I can hear how fast your heart is pounding. Worsery, and I think deep down you hope this apparition never ends. You are not Daman, Theodora. Kybela's eyes blaze with fury. The Undying One does not relinquish the souls that come to him, such as the absolute truth. You are a thief of names. Foolish child. Your world is limited to the darkness of the lower decks and the words of your Vizier. You know nothing of truth or death. You do, of course, boy, for it was I who gave the order to bring you here, to my ship. Oh, how I rue that decision now. And how I regret heeding the advice of my Sanes Chal. Abelard whispers hurriedly to you, how can this be? It is the same vision as on the officer's deck, and yet entirely different. Why does it not remember that meeting? And, why does it remember what the real Lady Theodora did? Alas, my glorious voyage through life was ended in the dullest possible way by death. A nuisance I staved off as long as I could. I'm dead? How is that? I am no different from those who have not yet crossed the divide between reality and eternity. I see. I speak. I remember the wrongs you all committed against me. And for all those who failed me I have already begun exacting my retribution. I truly am Theodora, the remnants of herself that she left behind in this world. I am an echo of her memories preserved in the minds of those who cared for her. I am the taste of tears spilled for the— oh, wouldn't you like to know the answer to that question? I don't even know which would be more satisfying, to give you an honest answer or leave you to languish in your ignorance. We'll see how you conduct yourself, little boy. Me. What have I done with Edyra? Theodora laughs mockingly. All I did was turn that little mud from the fringes into a true servant of the Imperium. I gave her toys, I cleaned up after her antics, I provided her with everything she could ever dream of. Oh, I had great plans for poor little Edyra. Theodora wearily rolls her eyes. Matters are so dire that the pleas of one of my servants breached death's veil to reach my ears. How could I ignore such a desperate cry for help, and from my little Edyra, no less? And, once I appeared here, of course I had to meet the pretender who has allowed this to— Theodora tosses her head back and laughs. The scar on her throat opens with a wet sucking noise, curving into a horrible facsimile of a smile. He feels sorry for me. Wretched, spineless creature. No, the only one worthy of pity here is you, boy. But do not expect any. I am not here to console you, oh no. I am here to seek retribution against all who failed me. My brainless crew. My useless officers. My pathetic servants, who turned their backs on their mistress in her darkest hour. And worst of all, you, my dear heir. You, who have undeservedly claimed the warrant and everything else that is mine. I will drag it all to the warp with me, including you.
Is there money to be made?
The lines on the screen look fuzzy, as though the cogitator's readout system or data storage has been damaged. The people's remains have been hideously mutilated. The flesh seems to have melted at the edges and is thickly coated in stinking mucus.
I always have a backup plan.
Is trapped in her vision. No matter, I will allay your doubts. Lord Captain? Idira turns her head to you, but her mere gaze only rests briefly on your face before slipping away. Up close, you can see that the base of one of Idira's implants is blackened with and melted. No, wait, Lord Captain, Lady von Valencia. Idira's eyes raises her eye to Theodora, who stands before her. Tears streaming down Idira's cheek. You came back.
Theodora clucks her tongue in sympathy, reaching out to tenderly stroke Idira's hair. Poor little Idira, there, how could I not come? You were crying for me so desperately, your pleas carried to the very depths of the warp itself. The smile suddenly drops from her mutilated face. Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you warn me? Answer me, you insignificant wretch, or I'll drag the answer out of you myself. Theodora's fingers dig into Idira's scalp, meeting no resistance.
Stop mocking me.
Idira lets out a soul-chilling howl and tries to grab the hand tearing into her, but her fingers pass through the monster's flesh. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything that could have had anything to do with you. I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I failed. Idira breaks into a strangled scream and you feel the air around you grow rapidly colder. Argenta wordlessly swings her weapon up and aims it at Idira, who is struggling in the monster's hold. The Sister of Battle looks at her without an ounce of doubt or mercy. Argenta wrinkles her nose at your shouted command and lowers the weapon by a few centimeters, but she does not put it away. Idira shudders and goes limp. Then she blinks, disoriented, and looks at you. Damn it! Theodora shoves the Psyker away with a low snarl. The rogue trader's body begins to change, losing its human shape. Chaos will devour you. It will devour everyone responsible for my death. Die. Die for the delectation of my lord.
Beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Cease and repent!
On it.
I am a navigator. Try to die with grace, at least.
My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Function successfully terminated. Cogitation failed. My competencies are not that universal. Request denied.
Emperor, give me strength. Fur painted black.
Pain cleanses the body.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Ashes, I will rise. I know what is to come.
Victory is imminent. I will do my duty. Someone else can do this. It will be done. Let's patch you up.
Injuries will not slow me.
Trust me. I cannot serve you in this way. No. This goes against the tenets. I would that I could. As the tenets demand. No.
I won't compromise my principles. Taking calculated risk is my second nature. Who, if not me?
Caught by the web. I cannot serve you in this way.
It's as good as done. I'll make it happen.
Momentum.
Accept your lot.
As honor ordains. Trust me. This goes against the tenets.
Running binaric override. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. The Omnissiah condemns you. Request approved.
As duty demands.
There is only death, yours or mine. There is movement in the Imperial.
At your beck and call. I took care of this one. Indeed.
A dance of blades and shadows. My blade whispers your name. No.
On it.
High momentum.
It will be done. That's not the Senator's job.
Who, if not me?
The order is contrary to dogmatic protocols. Advancing. Running by right.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Death is a blessing.
High momentum.
Guided by faith! As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I will not. This is unacceptable.
I'll revert to more conservative tactics.
I cannot serve you in this way.
Idira stares at you with crazed eyes while clutching the wounds on her head. At first, no sound comes out of her moving lips, then she coughs weakly and whispers, "Lord Captain, is it really you?" Argenta trains her weapon on Idira and watches you closely. Me? Did I? Yes, Lord Captain, I think it was me who called her. I can barely remember. The voices, my old, good whispers, they suddenly turned red, sharp, they started cutting, tearing, ripping me to pieces. I cried out, "Yes, Draciel." I did it a couple of times, when I'd had too much to drink. At the time, I thought I heard her voice among all the whispers in my head. The voice was so sad, so clear, I couldn't help myself. I answered. I hoped I could reach her, there. You don't know what it's like. The most important person in your life, who's now gone forever, suddenly starts talking to you inside your head. How could I not try to reach her? I had to. She falls silent for a moment. When she next begins to speak, it is in a barely audible whisper. I know what you're thinking. During the warp jump, when Lady Theodora came out toward us, I keep thinking about that meeting. I keep blaming myself. Why didn't I divine it? Why didn't I stop her killer? These thoughts have been playing at the back of my mind, day after day, choking me with guilt, and do you know what? The one, on the officer's deck, I don't know what that was. But this time, here, this was the product of my guilt. An accuser straight out of my own mind. Like this never. Well, there was something, but it was different. It wasn't as strong, or as terrifying. Apparitions appeared. Mechanisms malfunctioned. The crew lost their minds, Edira breaks off. But Lady von Valancius knew about that. She said it was a small price to pay, an acceptable expense. No Psyker is immune to it. But what happened here, it was just a mistake. I won't do it again. Edira stretches her lips in a help. Argenta grits her teeth. This is not the first time this heretic has caused the death of her crew. Do you remember the incident on the middeck, Edira? What did those honest souls ever do to deserve such a fate? To be turned into mutants and attack their own families. You are a monster. A heretic. If you have any humanity left in you, shut up, Edira moans. Quit your preaching, you're the worst out of everyone here. Edira turns sharply to face you. Draciel, I know after everything I've done, you have no faith in my willpower or my strength, but I can fix everything. It's just I'm not at my best, you see, but maybe we can find a way to replace my implants. Or some other remedy, a better one. Lady von Valancius said that such a thing could be found if not here, then elsewhere. I just didn't need it before, but we just need to find it. We need to figure out where to look for it, and we'll get it. And until then, I'll keep myself on a tight leash. Edira swallows and straightens. I'll pull myself together, Lord Captain. The death of Lady von Valancius knocked me for 6. I'll get myself under control. No more booze, no more obscura, nothing. And I'll stop walking around the lower decks. Edira nods and with visible effort forces herself to smile. Understood, Draciel. I swear I'll be more useful. You are making a mistake, Lord Captain. Perhaps you will find something to slow the decline, but it will not stop it. Edira awkwardly shakes out her stained clothing. I think I'd better, with your permission, Lord Captain. She sways, takes a step. Lord Captain? The Vox Master's shaking voice comes over the comm bead. I received a report that the shooting on the lower deck had stopped. I presume you have brought the situation under control. Awaiting further instructions. You hear unconcealed relief in the Vox Master's voice. Of course, Lord Captain. As you command. Instead of regular symbols and numbers, the screens display slanted script, almost resembling handwriting, in an unknown language.
I should have just killed her. I'm not going to use her.
Always keep
She's
your
too
eye
much
on
of a
the prize.
liability.
You have encased yourself in metal, priest. You may trick age this way, but you cannot trick death.
This unit's service life is not determined by entropic degradation.
Yeah, you really can have just a game inside one of the void ships. Like a daily life of the void ship game.
A small human dwelling stands on this barren, deserted planet. Scouts report that an old hermit lives there, who spends his days in prayer to the Emperor. To the Lord Captain's surprise, the old hermit turned out to be a navigator. And when the old man discovered the noble status of his visitor, he willingly recounted his tale. He had retreated to this planet long ago, back when he was still in his youth, After he had realized that his mind would not withstand frequent forays into the immaterium, the realm of the archenemy. The hermit spoke with pride about how he had worshipped the emperor each and every moment of his life. But when he mentioned the golden light of the Astronomicon, his voice quivered. When his guests left, he stared after them for a long time, his gaze filled with sadness.
How many extractors do I have? Drifting void ship.
Keep your wits about you.
The stomach-turning bloody smears on the wall form a malevolent symbol. The blood seems to have penetrated
Nothing
deep into the
escapes
metal.
my sight.
Need melted charge.
I always keep my options open.
The dull sounds produced by the ventilation system create the illusion that the ship is breathing like a living and terribly sick creature. This is bad, very bad. The Omniscia's grace has forsaken this place and these brethren.
I'm still new to the art of exploring.
Dark reddish blotches form the words, O Omni Psyker. The hour is upon us. Your imagination is playing tricks on you, making you see faces twisted in a scream in the stains on the metal.
Let us not dawdle.
This tech priest can barely stand from the many wounds where pieces of flesh used to be, blood mixed with oil is seeping out.
I'm listening. Locomotives are fully operational.
This tech priest can barely stand from the many wounds where pieces of flesh used to be, blood mixed with oil is seeping out. Access received.
Success is an irrefutable certainty.
Emperor, protect us, this is a house of darkness and corruption.
Authorized.
Clutching the soldering iron in his left hand, the priest casually solders the contacts on the implant in his right hand to the panel.
Is blessed with multifunctionality.
I always have a backup plan.
The dead know nothing, and neither do the ignorant. Follow my steps.
Activating motive force reserves.
I think I'll go all at once.
Pain and
that's
duty
dumb.
go hand in hand.
Is there money to be made?
Yeah, I should just go one by one.
I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
Oh god, I could have just cut the power. Oh my god.
There are
Just
noticeable
as I
signs of
planned.
warp activity here. The bloody spectacle you witnessed may have been a simple illusion or a vision of the past or future.
Keep your wits about you.
What advice do you seek? This wound will make a fine scar.
Blessed be the hand of the healer.
Let me help.
Injuries will not slow me.
I always keep my options open.
Scraps of skin and broken nails and teeth are stuck in the ragged grooves on the bulkhead. Someone made a frenzied attempt to scratch the blasphemous symbol into the metal, showing themselves no mercy.
Cursed flesh, you betray me. I am drowning in the melt of flesh and sinew, but my spirit belongs to the perfection of the machine. Techno comrade, you are in need of ritual protocol for repair. We will mend you. We will mend you.
I hope the Domin bringing a Xenos into his retinue is some kind of elaborate trap.
If that is the case, then we should have been informed. Otherwise, the prey might find its neck snapped before the trap can slam shut. Never doubt me. Blessed be the road that we take.
Unlocked.
Machine God grants me insight.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The metal feels a little warm and somewhat moist to the touch, remarkably similar to living skin. Warning. Invalid system pressure parameters. Expected value, 10.
Pay attention.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Aim for the heart next time.
Settings change. New system pressure value, 7. Settings change. New system pressure value, 7. Settings change. New system pressure value, 9.
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treatise on Tactica Imperialis.
Invalid value.
Weigh every step.
Restoring settings to
Sometimes,
initial
though,
values.
You just fire
Expected
your biggest
value,
cannon
10.
and save the day.
Settings change. New system pressure value, 7.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. I will endure.
Settings change.
I know
New
how
system
to
pressure
take
value,
risks.
8. Settings change.
Join
New
me
system
in
pressure
prayer.
value, 7.
I'm restless.
Settings change. New system
We
pressure
are
value,
the spearhead
4.
of the Imperium.
Sins hidden in the heart turn
Settings
all
change.
to decay.
New system pressure value, 10. Valid value set. Gas supply halted.
What deeds await us?
Operation successful.
Need melted charge.
Keep your wits about you.
The metal feels a little warm and somewhat moist to the touch, remarkably similar to living skin. There are noticeable signs of warp activity here. The bloody spectacle you witnessed may have been a simple illusion or a vision of the past or future.
It's as good as done.
Isn't this a job for the painted black? Do not dare ask.
I won't stand for it. I'll make it happen.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
This goes against the tenets. No. The shadows will caught by the web. I cannot serve you in this way.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
As the tenets, my blade whispers your name. Trust me. I would that I could.
My ears are ringing.
I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. That is not the Emperor's will.
I will do my duty. I'd rather not. The healing is much appreciated.
I refuse. I am ready for whatever comes. On it.
I'm afraid not.
I'll make it happen. It's as good as done. I'll make it happen. My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
Isn't this a job for the as duty demands? If only that were possible. Do not dare ask. If I may,
who, if not me? Consider this a taste of what's to come.
me. If you insist, Lord Captain.
Cogitation fails. Request denied.
No. As honor ordains. Caught by the web.
Just a minor setback.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I will not! This is unacceptable. That is not the Emperor's will.
At your beck and call.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I don't need luck. I have strategy. I'll see to it. You should have thought twice before crossing me.
I am a navigator. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Trust me. Come. The other side awaits. I cannot serve you in this way.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Doubt is for the weak. I will not. I refuse. That is not the Emperor's will. This is unacceptable. I will not. I refuse.
I'm not interested. Indeed. That's not the Seneschal's job.
An offering of blood.
I won't compromise my principles. I won't stand for it. I'll make it happen.
I'm afraid not.
My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
If I may? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
I refuse. I won't compromise my principles.
The order is contrary to dogmatic protocols. Heavy is the tread of his faithful.
As the tenets demand. Trust me. This goes against the tenets. The shadows will see it done. No. I would that I could. I shall not fail.
Our esteemed Magos has fallen.
High momentum.
This is unacceptable. That is not the Emperor's will.
Brace yourself, Abelard. I'd rather not. I'm not interested.
My gut tells me it's a bad idea. It's as good as done.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I refuse.
That is foolishness. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
I'll see to it personally.
Trust me. This goes against the tenets. I cannot serve you in this way.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without is worthless.
It will be done. I will do my duty. That's not the Seneschal's job. Reduced to dust! Someone else can do this.
Who, if not me?
Step aside. The navigator is coming. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I will not!
Follow my lead. I'd rather not. Victory is imminent.
On it.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. If only that were possible. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. Do not dare ask.
My lord.
I would that I could.
body. Doubt is for the weak.
A tactically sound approach. At your beck and call.
I'll make it happen. I won't compromise my principles.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. If I may. I'm afraid not.
This goes against the tenets. Killing brings me no pleasure.
My soul shall become like fire. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I'm not interested. My place is at the fore. Someone else can do this. I'd rather not. I'm not interested. Someone else can do this.
I won't stand for it. I refuse.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
As the tenets demand. The shadows will skulk by the web. I cannot serve you in this way.
Blessed Emperor, protect your...
That's not the Seneschal's job. Grey hair, sure hand. It will be done. I'd rather not. Someone else can do this.
My gut tells me it's a bad idea. It's as good as done.
That is foolishness.
One fewer target. That's not the Seneschal's job.
I would that I could.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. I will do my duty.
I'll see to it personally. Who if not me? The best defense is a good offense. I won't stand for it.
Death comes in silence.
Avalon! I'll save your colors.
I'll see to it, but consider this a taste of what's to come.
Step aside. The navigator is coming.
I will leave footprints of scarlet.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I bring mercy and retribution. Trust me.
Me.
Let's make some opportunities.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? I am a navigator, not a servitor.
I am your blade and shield. As honor ordains. As the tenets demand.
Don't let your guard down.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. If only that were possible. I'll paint your death in colors.
As honor ordains, the blade whispers your name.
Why? Why me?
Caught by the web.
Open your eyes, or I'll open mine.
I shall not fail. No.
I won't compromise my principles. I refuse. My gut tells me it's a bad idea.
Me? You insist, Lord Captain. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
A dance of blades and shadows. Come, the other side awaits.
I always keep my options open.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. The light of terror shines for us. The Emperor favors me today.
Is there money to be made?
Death
You
to the
will beg
malefactors.
for mercy,
Death
but
to the
I will
desecrators.
grant none. It's as good as done.
That was dumb of me.
Let us
Attention
not
to
dawdle.
detail is the key to
The
success.
Emperor sets my path.
I have to stop soon.
I woke up with a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics.
Your seneschal is always there for you. Marching on.
I am your shadow.
What advice do you seek?
The shadows reveal their secrets.
I better myself through my service.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Death to
I'll
the
make an
malefactors.
example out of you.
Death to the desecrators.
I'll see to it personally. Who, if not me?
Running by Erica's mind.
My God.
Isn't this a job for the sucker to die with grace, at least?
Request approved.
Mike.
I will leave footprints of scarlet. The shadows will see it done. As the tenants demand. I cannot serve you in this way. This goes against the tenants.
I'll do it. I was chosen. It's nothing. I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
I'm not interested. I'd rather not. Someone else can do this. Victory is imminent. I'm not interested. It will be done. Indeed.
I'll make it happen.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. I'm afraid not. Do not dare ask. If only that were possible. I'm afraid not. That is foolishness.
It's as good as done. I'll see to it personally.
My vow is served. Running binary code right.
If I may, as duty demands.
The scriptural process is disdainful.
I will not die in dishonor. Trust me. I would that I could.
Faith without deeds is worthless. This is unacceptable. That is not the Emperor's will. I refuse. I will not. This is unacceptable.
At your beck and call. That's not the Seneschal's job. Victory is imminent.
Oh, thank God. That worked out.
Someone else can do this. I'm not interested.
I need your aegis, O Emperor.
Who, if not me? I'll see to it personally.
The undying one favors you. Accept his gift.
Yeah.
Request denied.
I'm gonna stop. Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible part to stop at, but it is getting late and I need to do other things today. Alright. Thank you. I will not be back tomorrow. I'll probably be back on Sunday with more of this. So, thank you for watching.